in 1964, and we are actually located currently in the former county police barracks. This is where the jail used to be. And in 1984, we had the opportunity to buy this building. We also have another facility on the north end of town, which is located in the old city police station. So our joke is that we only like buildings where they used to try to keep people in, and we use those buildings to set folks free. So I hope
Awesome.
that I hope that people feel set free when they come to us. The rescue mission does all sorts of things, and many people don't know about all of our programs. So I'm going to kind of start at the top and work my way down.
Okay.
We have food. Everybody needs food. If you are hungry or you are cold, it's really tough to deal with other issues in your life. So we try to make sure that anybody who is hungry in our community has the ability to come to us on a daily basis and be fed. So we do that through the service of breakfast and lunch. We do that every day of the year in our Bread of Life kitchen, which is located on the main level of the mission here on South Street. So you can come here any day of the week, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and get a hot breakfast. And you can come Monday through Saturday from noon to 1:30 and get lunch. And on Sundays, we do lunch from 1 to 2 o'clock. So that helps folks who want to attend a church service and gather to worship. And it helps the men in our recovery program so that they can worship and then still be able to come and prepare a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Along with eating meals here at the mission, we have what we call our food distribution center. A lot of people call it the FDC. And you can come to the FDC 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And right now you will receive a prepackaged box of food or boxes of food, depending on the size of your family. That will be enough groceries to help to supplement your groceries for 3 or 4 days. Typically, there are a couple of proteins in there, some fresh vegetables, some dry goods, and non-perishable goods. But it's enough to supplement for 3 or 4 days. We're really excited that this year during COVID, we've been able to expand our food services, and we now have what we call FOOD. It's Frederick Optimizing Distribution of food throughout the community. So we actually partner with the Maryland Food Bank, and last year we helped to push over 3 million pounds of food into Frederick County. So if you're hungry in Brunswick, you're hungry in Thurmont, or anywhere in between, we're helping to get food to the churches, food banks, and organizations that are doing food drops. So we're really excited about that. No one in Frederick County should go hungry. That's really important to us, because if you're hungry, you're not able to figure out how to pay the electric bill, or you're not able to worry about how you're going to make the rent. So we can at least take care of that need for you. Our food services draw a lot of people here to our campus, which is an amazing way for us to connect with the community. We have a department here on campus that is our outreach department, and they are connecting with folks and making sure that they are able to access services in the community that they need. We're helping to direct them to services. If they come and say, hey, I got this electric bill, there's no way I'm going to be able to handle it, what do I do? We'll connect them with the agency that can assist them with that. And our outreach folks are also here on campus just to come alongside and say, how are you doing? Can I pray with you? Is there a prayer request that you have for us that we could help to pray and maybe get you some relief and just be there alongside you? And I'm so proud of our outreach team. They do fantastic work. And I think that it really does kind of set the mission apart, because you know that you can come here and at any time, any of us will stop and pray with you, which I think is really awesome. Along with our outreach, we have our volunteer programs. So if you are somebody who has a little bit of extra time and you want to give back to your community, the mission during non-COVID times, we run with about 40 to 50 volunteers a day. They do everything from work in our offices to help prepare meals in our kitchen, and everything in between. During COVID, we've just been able to reopen and bring folks back. This week has been particularly good. There have been voices in the hallways again, and people gathering, and We're all wearing our masks and we're all being safe, but it's been really wonderful to have that community coming back inside our building. Those are kind of our more outward. Oh, one more. We also have our Rescued Treasures ministry. So along with clothing, if you're cold, you can't deal with a whole lot. You're just worried about being cold. So we have a full free clothing ministry. Anybody in the community can bring us their used clothing, gently used, new clothes, things that are really tattered that you think you want to throw away. And we actually sort through all of those. We keep the best of the best here for the community, and we distribute that free of charge to anyone in need. Men, women, children, male, female, you name it. You can come to our campus here and go through and get the clothing that you need. So I like that too. Kids grow every single day. It seems like the minute you buy them something that fits, they grow right out of it. And really, if you've got to worry about prescriptions or paying the rent, maybe clothing's not at the top of your list. So we can help you to get seasonal appropriate clothing. The other thing I really like about that program is if you bring us something that's not in great shape. You know, how many of us have that pair of pants that the seam just blew out, there's no fixing it, you just want to throw it away? We'll actually take that and recycle it, keeps it out of the landfill, and it'll get reused. It'll be turned into rags or insulation. So we're able to kind of close that circle on that and keep it out of the landfill, which I really like. So that's kind of here on our campus. Everybody in the community can come here, get food, get warm, pray with us, and have a connection. We also have two other programs that are just amazing here on our campus. Here on South Street, we have our Change Life Recovery program. So if you are a male and you are experiencing substance use disorder, you are homeless, you're recently incarcerated, those are all scenarios where they could come here to the mission, and we have a year-long program where they can come, have a safe environment, a caring environment. They get plugged in. We have a Christian-based recovery program here, and they really have that time to heal and to kind of get their bearings about them and be able to work on their specific, whatever issue they're coming to the mission with. I have a real fondness for the men in our program. They are amazing people, and I'm really, really excited to be able to work with each of them, and really excited to be able to watch the successes that have come out of that program. So that's here on the South Street campus. And then up on the north end of town, up on North Market, we have our Faith House program. And Faith House is a 90-day women and women with children shelter. There's an application process, and we can take up to 20 women and 6 children at a time. They can stay there for up to 90 days while they get safety. They have a place where they can begin to heal and develop a personal plan so that they can get moving forward to sustainable employment, education, if that's what they need. For some of them, it's a safety issue. Some of them are fleeing domestic violence. Some of them have just found themselves in a predicament that they no longer have housing. So whatever that scenario is, they can come to Faith House, stay for 90 days and get a plan. And then once they kind of have that plan and have been able to find employment, we just this year opened our transitional living program, which is 11 apartments. They are on the same campus as Faith House. And they can house a woman and women with children for up to a full year while she's working and saving money. Our goal is always to be able to get those women to sustainable housing. So I'm really excited about all of those programs. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anybody. We got food, we got clothes, we got recovery, we got outreach, and we got Faith House. Yep, that's all of them.
Well, I'm going to thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
You had other things to add? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm happy to answer any questions.
As you can see, I'm like the horse, trying to get out as quick as possible because I have a few questions. But before I ask my questions, I have to be a good host. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Rolls?
Okay. I definitely do. I definitely
awesome.
have a couple of questions. Thank you so much. Oh, did you want to say something?
just want to say, I think Joe was trying to say something, but he's muted.
Oh,
Go ahead, Joe. Do you have something to
Yeah,
say, Joe?
go ahead.
Oh, no, you still have to hit
Still muted.
hit unmute. There
There
you
you go.
are.
Got it. Okay, but you guys can go ahead first if you like.
No, go
Okay,
ahead,
you
Joe.
doing ladies first?
Sure, ladies first. That's right.
Okay,
There we go.
Go ahead, Miss Lori. Thanks,
Okay,
Joe.
all right. Thank you,
You're
Joe.
welcome.
I appreciate
Of
it.
course. Of course.
Okay, so the question, I have many questions, but maybe some will get answered by someone else's questions as well. But the Faith House, the 90-day shelter, first of all, the thing I want to ask is, do you have to have a religion in order to come and stay at the Faith House? Although I think that's really important, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
everybody does. So,
We are a Christ-based ministry in all of our programs, but we do always want to let folks know you don't have to be a Christian to come and receive any of our services.
Okay.
We're very excited. We do not accept any government support. We don't seek government funding or grants. So that puts us in a unique position that we can talk about Christ and we can share with people who want to know more about that. But you do not have to be a Christian to come and receive any of our services.
Okay.
The women at Faith House, when they're in the 90-day shelter, we're trying to create for them a community that they can really rely on. And for many of those women, they've never had that before. So we do require them to come to daily devotionals. It's an hour out of their day where they really get to connect with the community. And some of those women end up finding Christ through that. And some just end up finding a community. So does that answer your question?
yeah, it does. It does. And
Yeah.
that's awesome because, how many times during your day do you get people coming up to you and saying, would you like to pray together or whatever,
Yeah.
or I'll pray
Sure.
for you or whatever. So
Mhm.
that's pretty awesome. I'm going to start with that and then I may have
Okay.
more later on. We'll see. So
Sure.
thanks, Joe.
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of because I don't want to forget. So for the women, okay, and then I'll let Joe, hopefully he'll handle the man part.
Sure.
But for the women who have been who have come and who are there for 90 days. 90 days come, they did find a job, but still nowhere to live. What are your procedures for that woman then?
So we established that first 90 days really to help them kind of catch their breath. 90 days goes really fast. It's not a long time.
Right.
So for some of those women, it takes 90 days just to catch their breath and kind of get their bearings about them. We do have the ability, the director at Faith House on a case-by-case basis can extend their stay. But our focus is within that first 90 days is to really help them get some stability, get their bearings about them, and begin either work or school. They need to be able to look at those options. And then that gives them typically 60 days or 2 months to kind of be established in that school or work environment. And then they could go into our transitional living program. But we do on a case-by-case basis have the ability to extend that 2 weeks at a time.
And could you tell us a little bit about the process for that piece? For
Sure.
them? Please.
There is an application process. You can go to therescuemission.org and it has right there, right online is an application. They fill that out and submit it. And then Terry Gray, who is the Faith House director, will call and invite them in and they get to have a tour of the facility. They'll have an interview or a conversation with Terry. And it's a great chance for her to be able to find out exactly what that woman needs and for that woman to see if Faith House feels like the right place for her. We do have some women who come to Faith House out of substance use. We are not a recovery program. So there does need to be a period of sobriety before they can come into Faith House. And again, she will work with and talk to the women to make sure that it's the right fit for both.
I am so excited. Okay, Joe.
Sure.
What's your question?
Yeah, definitely. So with the men, and you did mention a pretty encouraging program. So this could be individuals who are recently incarcerated or possibly looking for just some level of support. Possibly, could you tell us a little bit about that? So for them, it's not residential, but they are there for like daily programs? Is that what that's about?
Sure. No, the men's program, and I'm sorry I wasn't clear on that. The
Okay.
men's program is a residential program,
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
it's divided into 2 6-month sections. So it's most of those men come here and stay with us for a year, and they do
Okay.
live here on our campus.
Awesome. And is this your consumers? Is it open to anyone in Frederick County? Is that the?
No, actually,
that a-
we're open throughout the county and throughout the region. So we have people
Okay.
who will come to those programs. Faith House, we find more people coming from Frederick County going into the Faith House program.
Sure.
They don't typically come from outside Frederick County, but we would not ban them from coming from outside. The men's program, we have folks, New York State, Baltimore, as far south as North Carolina. So
Wow.
it really is, if it's a
Yeah.
program that's a good fit for the individual and we
Yeah.
have space, they can come from almost anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, we wanted to, we have been in partnership with you guys for almost a year now. And, we brag often about, our partnership because you guys are so wonderful. You guys just such a great job. Lori, can you touch on a little bit about how the Freedom Train has kind of like benefited from the mission and what we do with them?
Okay. So are you talking about the Freedom Center?
The Freedom
The-
Center, I'm sorry.
Right.
Well,
Okay. That's what I
did I
thought
say
you
the
meant.
Freedom Train?
You
did,
Well,
but-
we are on the train, so
We-
I got
the
a
Freedom
one-track mind.
Goes on
Yeah.
the center. That's right.
Yeah.
You got it though, Florida man.
Okay. So,
Oh, good.
yes, definitely. And Mike can add to this as he wants as well, because he and a volunteer named Charlie are the ones who are running this program right now. But every Tuesday around 11:15, I think it is, we come and pick up food and we deliver it to 14 consumers who are on our list that are in the Frederick area in the community
Wow.
that can't come and get food, that we take
Okay.
it to them for various reasons. One of the biggest reasons was because, well, two, no transportation and COVID-19, which is huge.
Mhm.
So a lot of people don't have to put themselves in danger to go get food and that kind of
Okay.
thing. So Mike, do you want to add to that more?
Yeah, the mission has been really great as far as also the volunteer is someone who is or still might be on the board at the mission, and that's Charlie Powers, who owns.
Oh, yeah. He's our board president.
Yep. Okay,
Wow.
the board president. Yep. And
Wow.
so, what the mission has done for the Freedom Center as far as that goes and our consumers is huge. And so, just thank you so much for allowing us to even work with one of your board members that does the deliveries alongside us. So really, we couldn't be able to feed these people for a week at a time without you guys. And again, like I worked at the mission as well. I graduated that program back in 2013, and the mission changed my entire life. And so,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm just so proud to have come from the
Awesome.
mission and how the mission has affected my life and how it continues to affect my life. And then I get to bless other people through the mission.
And I'm going to
Awesome.
tell you what
It's a
you
great
guys
testimony, Mike.
do at the mission. We get such great testimonies. I think I happened to answer the phone one day, Nicole, and this lady called in and she was looking for Michael, Lori, and none of them were available at the time. And she broke down and she said, "You will not believe it." And one of the things that really blew her away was the quality of the food that she received.
Oh,
She spoke of how, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. And a lot of times people are concerned when they get things from the food banks or other places. Sometimes they may not be as fresh, And she was just so thankful. She thought we probably did something like super duper special and picked it out. But not knowing that this is just the way you serve
Yeah.
the community. And so we want to tell you, I know you hear it from the men and women that you serve, but for your partners, when we have to partner and we know that there's a guarantee that excellent service will be provided to our consumers because they're like family as well.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for doing what you do. When I looked you guys up and I was like, oh my goodness, I was calling everybody. I want to call everybody. I was like, did you know this? Did you know that? I just think even the
A lot
clothes,
available. Yeah.
even the fact that you guys make use of even clothes that may be unusable, which a lot of people don't think of. You don't let
Yeah.
anything go to waste. And I
Yeah.
love that. One last thing I would like to add, if you can tell us, if someone just happened to run across, which a lot of people will because we'll be on YouTube and Facebook, was to see this and wanted to know, how do I become a volunteer? What
Mhm.
would they need to do?
So they can go right to our webpage. It's
Mhm.
therescuemission.org. And at the very top, there is a volunteer button. And
Okay.
for our volunteers, there you just fill out your information, name, address, phone number, and the area that you think you might be interested in volunteering.
Mhm.
And then our volunteer coordinator, Carolyn, is amazing. She'll do an orientation. Right now, she's doing most of the orientations through a Zoom meeting.
Sure.
But she'll kind of get to know you. She'll tell you more about the mission and let you know the opportunities that are available. We need new volunteers every single day. And it's really neat. Some of our volunteers come to us for a short season, and some of our volunteers have been with us 20 plus years. So it
Awesome.
really is a place that you can come and give what you're able. And we love that.
Well, it
And
says a lot when somebody can volunteer for 22 or 20 odd
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, that's
Just
Yeah.
volunteer. It says a
A
lot about the
loyalty.
credibility of what you guys do.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
thank you.
Yeah. I did have a question on, could I follow up the question as
Mhm.
far as now of course we're a nonprofit and we do, receive money, grants, things like that. I've done some work in the past, volunteer work with Catholic Charities, which sounds like it might be a similar organization. So I guess you did mention it, and it's true. So you do benefit from, you're not, quote, relying on federal or state funds. Your guys are able to, is that generated within the prayer community, or so you're
That's a
self-sustaining, if you will?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great question. So
Yeah.
my primary job here at the mission is I oversee our fundraising efforts, our
Okay.
marketing efforts, and our
Sure.
volunteer program.
Gotcha.
So my job is to go out and connect with members of the community.
Mhm.
We have some of our most faithful and generous supporters are our faith-based donors, and
Sure.
those are both individuals and churches.
Mhm.
We
Gotcha.
have seen during COVID especially an uptick in more secular donors, and we love and
Mhm.
appreciate them as well.
Sure.
What we have found is that people are looking for the place where their money can have the biggest impact.
Right.
And we're
Sure.
really humbled that they trust us to
Mhm.
be that place.
Yes.
It's really
Great.
awesome when you get folks who say, I know it might only be $50, but I knew that if I sent it to you, you'd be able to do the most with it. And
Absolutely.
that's really humbling. And
Oh, wonderful.
we're really grateful for that. So
And we could see that. We can see that just by the campuses and the outreach and things. Laurie, did you have any other questions for Nicole?
I was wondering about how long does it take to get into the Faith House? I know there's a process of an application. After that, then what?
So Faith House does have a waiting list, and I can't give you a definitive timetable on that.
I see.
We do place priority trying to get women with children off the streets. So oftentimes women with children will kind of be closer to the top of that waiting list. We do also work in conjunction with other partner agencies. So advocates, Hartley House, all just different places. So you might be on our waiting list, but you're also on a waiting list for advocates. And we kind of work with each
Great.
other to make sure people get housed most quickly. We do have a 24-hour waiting period. So your application comes in, Terry sees it, we have a bed available, she'll call and interview you. And then there is a 24-hour waiting period, both so that the potential resident can really contemplate, is this the right place for me? And so that Terry can make sure she does do a background check. We do not allow, as I said, folks who don't have a record of sobriety, and we don't allow violent offenders or sex
Right.
offenders. We need Faith House to be a place of safety.
Safety.
And comfort, yes.
Yeah, so it gives time for any of those background checks to be done, as well as giving everybody a chance to say, is this really the best place for me? And if it's not, then we try to point them towards partners that it could be a good place.
Sure. Okay.
Great. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, could you share with us, you gave us the time, the meals, just in case there's someone who sees this and just needs something to eat. Could you give us the time and days that meals are
Absolutely.
available, please?
Absolutely. Every day of the week, you can come and have breakfast from 7 to 8 a.m. And we just this week, we were able to reopen our indoor dining. We have been doing food on a to-go basis, but there is always hot coffee and some sort of warm breakfast here in the morning. So 7 to 8 a.m., they can come right here to the Mission. And then Monday through Saturday, they can have lunch from noon to 1:30. We pray in at noontime, and then lunch is served. And then on Sundays, it's from 1 until 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Nicole, thank you so much for
Yeah, it's very
what
exciting.
you do. You let the Mission know that we appreciate them, we love them, we're glad to
Right.
be in partnership with them.
Little resource.
Please do not be a stranger. Anything new, anything you want to share, all you have to do, connect with Mike or call us. We'll put you on when we'll get the word out. Okay. Again,
Thank
it has
you.
been, it has been an honor and a privilege to be working with you and the Mission. Continue to do the work that you do, and we'll come right along and support the best way that we can. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Guys, everyone, thank you for joining us
Thank
here
you,
on the
Ms.
Freedom
Ross.
Train.
Appreciate it.
It has been a pleasure. Next week, same time, same place. And we're going to have a special guest who might be telling us how much, the ministry has meant to, the Mission has meant to them with the foods, so we may have a testimonial next week. So stay tuned, look forward, same time, same place. And again, be careful.
Okay.
Have a great day, everybody.